Hi, and welcome to Carefree Byways. My name is Val, and together with my wife, Lisa, we explore the carefree highways and byways of America, which we have done a lot in the last 10 years. In this video, we will share with you our experiences on the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad on June 8, 2021, right in the middle of the pandemic. Durango is a beautiful town located in a valley at the foot of the San Juan Mountains in southwestern Colorado. I was interested in visiting Durango because I had read about the train there for years, and it is listed in a wonderful travel book titled Tourist Trains Guidebook. And so Durango became one of our stops on a 3,000-mile road trip that started in Elk Grove, California, our home, on June 1st, 2021, with stops in Park City, Utah, where we did some e-bike riding, Steamboat Springs, drove through Rocky Mountain National Park, spent the day in Estes Park, on to Pagosa Springs, then Durango, Mesa Verde, National Monument Arches National Park, Zion National Park, and then the Little Alien, located out in the middle of Nevada, near the famous Area 51. It was quite a great road trip. The Durango leg of our trip began in Arvada, Colorado, near Denver, with visiting family, and then we headed south on US 285, which was a beautiful drive along the western edge of the Rocky Mountains. We then turned west on US 160, which wound through the Rio Grande National Forest. Just east of Pagosa Springs, we passed through Wolf Creek Pass. There we stopped at the Lobo Overlook, which has a beautiful view to the west. Our day ended in Pagosa Springs, where we spent the night at the Pagosa Springs Inn, which was not all that great. The next morning, after a restless night, we were up early on our way west to Durango, which was about 60 miles away. We arrived there at about 8:30. I had already purchased tickets online, so all we needed to do was park the car, which wasn't a problem. Check in, which was also not a problem. That's just amazingly well set up organization, and then find our train car. Our seats were in a circa 1880s passenger car with bench seats on each side of the aisle. We were ready for our adventure. Okay, let me pause here and provide you with a little historical background. The Denver and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad was originally opened in 1882 to transport silver and gold. The construction managed with William Jackson Palmer, a Union general, had served in the Civil War. In fact, much of the railroad construction after the Civil War was done by Union generals. Construction began in July 1881. The labor crews were made up of mostly Chinese and Irish immigrants who had experience building the Transcontinental Railroad in the 1860s. The Chinese skills with using explosives, learned while blasting through the granite-hard Sierra Nevada mountains, came in handy for getting through the Animas Canyon with its steep granite walls. As the railroad's usefulness for hauling mining materials waned, its popularity as a tourist destination grew, especially in the post-World War II period, when so many people were going on road trips via the growing interstate highway system. In the 1960s, an attempt was made by the owners to shut the line down, but the Interstate Commerce Commission, responding to tourist interest, said no. Over the following decades, significant investments were made in the railroad's infrastructure, and today it continues to be a popular tourist destination and is recognized as a National Historic Landmark. Also, it is the only railroad that continues to use steam engines exclusively. Now, back to our journey. And now a little more backstory. In 1969, the Durango and Silverton Railroad was the setting for the train robbery scenes in Judge Roy Hill's Academy Award-winning film, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. The film is a buddy western story starring Paul Newman, Robert Redford, and Catherine Ross. When the two outlaws, Butch and Sundance, decide to rob a train, the train they robbed was depicted by the Durango and Silverton. So if you take a ride, be sure to watch the movie first and ask the staff on the train where the different scenes were filmed. Now, back to our journey.
Come here, Belle.
We're gonna go. All right.
We're in it.
We sure are.
Okay, a bit more backstory. Silverton, Colorado sits in a valley at the lofty height of 9,318 feet. It was originally part of the tribal lands of the Southern Utes. In August of 1860, Charles Baker discovered gold, which inspired others to make the trek to this remote location, a migration that the Utes resisted. In July 1882, the first train reached Silverton, making the trek up the mountain far easier. By the 1920s, the mines had played out, but as I mentioned earlier, tourist interest began to increase. Many of the stately mansions built during the rich years still survive. Today, Silverton is the county seat of San Juan County. Okay, some closing thoughts. If I did it over again, I would skip the return trip and take the bus option. The ride up is full of adventure, and the ride back was a 3-hour slog. The next day, we took out our e-bikes and explored the Durango environment and discovered how delightful it was. It is a destination in itself. We rode up the hill to Fort Lewis Community College, which is on a bluff overlooking the city. If you were looking for lodging, I would recommend the Holiday Inn Express Durango Downtown, which is located next to the Animas River. Visiting Durango and riding the narrow gauge railroad was a hoot, and definitely a destination to put on your future visit list.